Welcome to Sportsource Game of the Week. I'm your host, Matthew Herron. Though everyone's eyes might be on Augusta National Golf Club this weekend for the Masters, we've got you covered on high school baseball, with the Oconee County Warriors meeting the Monroe area Hurricanes. We will hear from both sides' head coaches as well as our analysts that will break down the game alongside score predictions for tonight's doubleheader. First, let's head to Monroe area high school to hear from head coach Blake McCullers. Sportsource reporter Brady Logan joins us now.
Thanks, Matthew. I had the chance to meet up with Coach McCullers before today's games and talk about how Monroe area can come out with a series win over Oconee County. The Hurricanes have already dug themselves a hole as they lost Game 1 on Tuesday 10-0. However, Coach McCullers mentioned that the fact that Monroe area is on spring break this week could be cause for their sluggish start on Tuesday, and he feels good about their chances in Games 2 and 3 if the Hurricanes come out fired up to defend their home field. So coming off a loss on Tuesday, can you walk me through kind of what went wrong in that game and then what you guys need to fix as you come into the games this weekend?
Yeah, I think we just got to show up more ready to go. I don't think the guys are ready to go. Spring break kind of throws a wrench into everything as far as the schedule goes. So tomorrow we're actually going to get here early, do a little workout, let them leave, go get lunch, and kind of make it a normal day. Spring break, with it being a different schedule, these kids need a schedule, and we just didn't play our best game on Tuesday. Hopefully we can put it behind us and move forward for 2 tomorrow.
Right, and baseball's one of those sports where you can come out and get beat pretty bad and come out in the next game 2 and 3 and beat them pretty bad. So what do you tell your team as you're coming off a loss and coming into 2 important games at your home field?
Are you asking the same question?
One, we've always had it all year long. Nobody comes here and beats us. And we just got to, like I said, we got to flush what happened on Tuesday, learn from it, move forward. Our offense has got to show up. We have a shot with our pitching staff. We just have to show up ready to go and play hard and let the score be the score at the end of the game. But as long as we control what we can control, we'll be there at the end.
Right, and for the 2 games, what do you think the keys to you guys winning is? Is it pitching? Is it hitting? Obviously, it's a combination of both, but where do you think your team's strength lies, and where can you really hit North or Oconee where you guys can beat them? What are your strengths?
Our strengths are probably our depth. We have a lot of guys that can play a lot of different positions. It's just we have to show up. These guys are still trying to learn how to win, but if we show up, we have good at bats, and guys feed off one another, we'll be fine. That's our strength is we have depth. We have a lot of guys that can do a lot of different things, and that can cause problems if they show up ready to go.
Monroe area had to travel to Oconee on Tuesday for their 10-0 loss, but Coach McCullers emphasized how important defending their home field is to his program. And with a new pregame routine and home field advantage, I expect to see a much more competitive game from the Hurricanes in Games 2 and 3, if, of course, they can get out of their spring break mindset.
Up next, we'll hear how Oconee County head coach Mitch Holloway is feeling ahead of this weekend series and what it will take for success against the Hurricanes. Welcome back to the Sportsource Game of the Week with Oconee County facing Monroe area. We'll now head to Oconee County High School. Sportsource reporter Blakely Hollingshead joins us now with more about the Warriors.
Thanks, Matthew. On Tuesday, Oconee County started the series strong with a 10-0 win over Monroe area. The Warriors have been on a roll, winning 6 of their last 7 games. Earlier this week, I talked with head coach Mitch Holloway and asked how he was feeling heading into these games against the Purple Hurricanes.
Well, obviously this week is a big tough test. I've actually had my eyes on Monroe area probably all year, just because of how much experience they're bringing back. They've been consistently getting better last 4 years since I've been here. So Coach McCullers has done a great job over there, and that's not just me saying that. Like some of the other coaches I know around, are saying the same thing or noticing the same thing. So he's definitely doing a great job over there. And so it is tough. This is the last week. Obviously, it's spring break. So it's who wants to play spring break baseball when it matters a little bit. So I just try not to look too far into it. Just show up and play. Hopefully, play the way that we know we're capable of. and we shouldn't have to worry about too much.
Perfect. So you've had a lot of very high scoring games this season. What do you think the key has been to getting those large amounts of runs?
Early and often, we talk about it a lot, is how can we make sure that we're doing what we need to do offensively early on to make sure that we're making adjustments. When you see the ball well, that's what you want for it to happen, for it to be like every time that you come out. Unfortunately, it's not that way in this game, but we've been I guess fortunate enough to kind of find a groove offensively and be able to find ways to put up multiple runs, in games and in multiple ways. So whether it be small ball or getting our bottom of the lineup on for our run producers at the top to be able to do what they need to do in terms of extra bases and home runs. So again, it's pretty neat whenever you get to experience that in a kind of variety of ways and early on, and not something where you're waiting all game for something to happen and just bust open, which is good too. But a lot of those games, I think that we've played in, we've been able to score early and often and just keep adding on. So it's been good.
What key players do you think are going to be important in those games?
Well, I mean, of course, our three starting pitchers. We play Region 3 game series. They're all important. So obviously, for those three guys to have three good quality starts on the mound, we've had some guys at the bottom. I think in our first two games at Cherokee Bluff, I think we tallied 21 hits in the first two games, and a pretty good percentage of quality at bats. And a lot of those came from the guys at the bottom of the lineup, like Hagen McCormick, Walker Duvall, Braden Jackson, Trainer Mooney, Caleb Streer. So a couple of those guys there who kind of consistently been at the bottom of our lineup have really found ways again to how do they get on base, how do they look for their pitch to hit, how do they get it, how do they make sure that they execute on that. And depending on the situation, how can they get runners over, get them in scoring position for the lineup to flip over. So yeah, I mean, as always, there's those names that are at the bottom of the lineup. When you're thinking about a three-game series, are very, very crucial, critical towards us getting the job done.
Coach Holloway told me that while the goal is, of course, another regional title, what he wants most is for the team to get just a little better every day. We'll see if that daily progress lands the Warriors back on top. Back to you, Matthew.
Coming up next, we will dive deeper into this matchup with Sportsource analysts Ellie English and Ren Grimsley. We'll be right back with more Sportsource Game of the Week. Welcome back to Sportsource Game of the Week, featuring Oconee County playing Monroe area. Let's dive deeper into both of these teams, starting with Monroe area. Sportsource analysts Ellie English and Ren Grimsley join us now to analyze these two teams. Ellie, this is a team that's fighting to stay competitive in Region 8. What stands out to you?
Matthew, Monroe area comes into this matchup looking to regain momentum late in the season. The Hurricanes are currently 14-11 overall and 7-6 in region play, sitting fourth in Region 8 3A. It's been a tough stretch for Monroe area as they're on a 4-game losing streak, including a 10-0 loss to Oconee County earlier this week on Tuesday. With a doubleheader coming up on Friday, April 10th, against that same Oconee County team, this is a big opportunity for Monroe area to respond and potentially shift the direction of their season heading into the final stretch.
Ellie, with Monroe area looking to bounce back, who's one player that could make an impact in this doubleheader?
That's a great question. In a moment like this, you need someone who can bring energy and shift the momentum back in your favor. Carson Vandiver, a standout senior who can play nearly every position on the field, is exactly that kind of player who can do that. Carson says the team's biggest advantage against the Warriors is their pitching. Let's hear what he had to say.
Our starters, very good, go a lot deep in the game. They have a lot of strikeouts. It's just the hitting isn't producing any runs for the team.
Monroe area will need a strong performance on the mound in this doubleheader, but the focus now shifts to getting the bats going. If they can deliver quality innings, limit runs early, and come out with more energy, and especially at home, that could be the key to snapping this losing streak. Watch for Carson Vandiver to step up and set the tone against Oconee County.
Now looking at the visiting side, let's bring in Ren Grimsley. Ren, what does this season look like for Oconee so far?
Matthew, it has been an up and down season for the Warriors. Currently 15-10, the team lost 5 straight in the back half of February. but responded well by immediately winning 7 straight games in the first half of March. Now they've won 6 of their last 7 and are hot as they approach the playoffs.
As we get toward the end of the season and the playoffs, like you mentioned, who's a player to watch to keep the momentum going?
Finding great pitchers can be a real challenge in high school baseball. However, Oconee has one in William Resitek, who will be on the mound for the Warriors for the first game of the doubleheader. When asked about keys to the matchup against Monroe, William had this to say.
I think we just need to do a good job getting ahead of them early in counts on the pitching side, and then just making their pitchers work on the offensive side. I think if we do that, we'll be good.
Resitek says that the whole team loves being around each other, and that is what has led to success this season. That's shown by the fact that Oconee's averaging 7.2 runs per game and only giving up 3.9 runs per game on average. With only 5 games remaining, the Warriors still have a chance to finish first in the region, but that's only possible by winning these next 2 games against Monroe area. Matthew?
Well, we've heard from our analyst about the keys for each team. When we come back, we're putting both of our analysts on the hot seat with a score prediction next on our Sportsource Game of the Week. Welcome back to Sportsource Game of the Week. We've gone over the key players to watch and heard some analytics. Now it's time to make score predictions. Ellie, we'll have you lead us off. Who do you have winning this game?
Matthew, this is a tough one, especially with Monroe area coming in on a 4-game losing streak and Oconee County already picking up a 10-0 win earlier this week. History in this matchup and recent performance makes me lean towards Oconee County. I think Monroe area will compete better this time around, but Oconee County's consistency and momentum will be hard to overcome. I'm going with Oconee County to take it with a score of 6-2 in Game 1.
All right, Ren, who do you predict will win this game?
I think I'm going to have to agree with Ellie here. This is a chance for Monroe area to make a statement and show that they are not going to give up. However, I think Oconee is playing too well right now for me to doubt them. I'm going to take Oconee County with a final score of 4-1.
Well, there you have it. It seems like Oconee County's pitching staff might give them the edge tonight. For everyone on our team, I'm Matthew Herron. Thank you for watching our Sportsource Game of the Week.